Hello everyone, welcome to supplychainway.com and I welcome you to the supply chain Q&A series. Today I'm going to answer the question which most of you has written to us. It is, what are all the different roles within supply chain and which are all the most exciting roles within supply chain. Okay, so if you have not seen the prerequisite videos, just down in the comment section I've just given some of the videos which you can see before you watch this video. Okay, great. So if you see supply chain, there are three main functions within. It is sourcing, manufacturing and distribution. Now either you start each role, so for example a sourcing role, a manufacturing role or distribution role, you have to decide first which main function you are going to get into. And one more very crucial thing I want to tell, before even you decide which function you want to get into, you have to decide which sector you want to get into, because each sector, the supply chain nuances are totally different from the other sectors. What you get on an FMCG sector as an experience, you will never get on an e-commerce sector. And what you get as an experience on an automotive sector, that will be totally different from a textile sector, right? So each sector has their nuances and excitement. You should know them before you pick which sector you want. And then comes the function. Now within each function, okay, there are different roles. I'm going to explain that one by one. So this is common for sourcing, manufacturing as well as the distribution. Now first and foremost thing within that is the strategy role. The second one is the planning role. The third one is the execution role or the operations role. So let's take a step back and see what are these. Strategy is basically plans, like a long-term vision for that particular function. A sourcing strategy talks about the strategy for the sourcing team in whole for the next 2 years or 3 years. And then the planning. So planning comes with the tactical as well as the operational plan for that particular function, and then the execution is the core operations team who just executes the work. So this strategy, planning and operations will apply for sourcing, it applies for manufacturing, it applies for distribution. So like distribution strategy, distribution planning, distribution operation. So you have to understand which role is your preference, whether it is a strategy role, whether it's a planning role or whether it is an operations role. So I'll give you a little bit background or share my experience how these roles will be, because I've served on all the three roles. Operations roles, it is going to be on field. Your prime objective is to execute the job on hand. Okay, there will be a lot of firefighting, but you will be on field working out things. Number one. Number two, planning. It is a very crucial role because your job is basically to ensure you are matching up the supply and the demand right from SNOP till your detailed operational plan. Everything will be taken care by the planning as a role. Strategy role, you can't get into a strategy role without serving in any of this planning or operations role, because it is one of the most complex and a pressure job being in a strategy role. Okay, so once you spend considerable amount of time on a planning or an operation role, then you can graduate to a strategy role. Now you can pick any of these roles within these three functions, which is sourcing, distribution and manufacturing. Now there could be one question, then what is this called as supply chain roles? So to the answer is, in India and even in other countries, sometimes each of these roles, sourcing, manufacturing as well as the distribution roles, are also called as supply chain roles. But you should exactly understand what is your job profile and what you are going to do. Now the second question, which is a follow-up question which has been asked, is which are the roles which are more exciting within a supply chain? Now the answer is going to be like this. That is totally a personal preference. Few people will be interested on operations, they want to be on field. For them the exciting role is going to be the operations role, and I would strongly recommend them to pick up either manufacturing operations or the distribution operations. And some people likes to work it out on some analytics tools, use tools like Lean Six Sigma. You have to get into a planning role, and you can first preference would be into an automotive sector, and then comes FMCG or e-commerce or textile or other sector, because automotive is where you will be online, you will be able to work and process a lot of data points. Okay, so that excites you. So you have to decide whether planning excites you or whether operations excites you, or if you are a tech person, like you want to work on softwares, then you can get into any ERP based supply chain roles as well. There also there is a planning and execution. Okay, so which excites you is the most exciting job for you. So don't just get carried away by anyone directly telling. If you ask me, I'm going to tell you operations is the best, but that will be totally biased, because that is my personal preference. Okay, and it may not be exciting for you. So understand each of those roles, and then you can pick a role which would suit you. Okay, so all the best to you. If you have any follow-up question, feel free to write back to me. I would be glad to answer them too. Thank you so much for watching this video.